The entire nation had Christian Atsu in prayers, and also people who were victims of the earthquake in Turkey in prayers. In studio is Evans Ofosu Manso. He is with the Citi Sports, and he's here to share with us details of how the entire news broke on social media and how it took center stage on social media. For that reason, we knew that Christian Atsu was involved in that calamity in Turkey.
Exactly, Philip. So Turkish journalist, that's Yagis Sabunkoglu, was the few or the earliest people to tweet about the story regarding Christian Atsu trapped under a rubble in Turkey. So he tweeted that the earthquake happened at 4 a.m. Turkish time, and that at the time he was tweeting that the building where Atsu was sleeping the night before that had collapsed. And so they were absolutely sure that he was trapped under the building there. He was not the only one. He had also indicated that most of Atsu's teammates at his new club, Hatayspor, were all trapped, but there was a quick rescue team, and then everyone in his team was rescued except Atsu and the club sporting director, Tana Savut. So these two personalities were the only ones that the rescue mission team could not rescue at that moment where he was tweeting that the incident had happened. We understand that this was a 7.8 magnitude quake happening in Turkey, and as such, Atsu was involved in that. So fast forward, other reporters also picked the story. The Sun from the UK, The Guardian were all reporting to confirm that, yes, this had happened to the Black Stars player.
I mean, that particular building that Atsu was a resident in there, was he the only team member in there, or he had other teammates who were also involved in this calamity?
Yeah, so he was there with other teammates, and you understand that he was on the 9th floor of the building when it collapsed, but there were other teammates there as well, alongside the sporting director of the team, Savut, who is, at the moment, as I speak to you, he's not been found yet. But the other teammates of Atsu have all been evacuated, as we understand, this morning to Adana, another city in Turkey, to be given proper medical care after this incident happened. But
are you aware of how many were in there?
Well, we're not given the specific figures to how many people were involved, but the key personalities that they were looking for after the incident happened were the players and also the officials. They were able to rescue all the players, and then Atsu and the missing sporting director later. So Atsu is the latest one to be rescued. They are still ongoing, searching for Tana Savut to wrap up their search for those missing. But we understand that several people in Turkey are obviously injured. My sources tell me 15,000 people are injured. Over 4,000 are dead and counting. And this happened across the Turkish region of Hatay and also Gaziantep. These are important cities in
Later in the evening, as of yesterday, we had conflicting reports that Atsu had been rescued and that he was having some wounds on his right foot and all that. Can you tell us into details what really informed these conflicting reports stating that one section was saying that he's been found, another was saying that he's not been found?
So as the rescue mission was ongoing for the 31-year-old, Irene Palmer is a sport journalist based in Portugal. She works for Abola, a Portuguese publication. So she sent a tweet out there that she has confirmed reports that Atsu has been rescued from the rubble. And as such, the story went viral. And then it saw the Sun in the UK, The Guardian, all picking the story to confirm that Atsu had been released or has been taken from the wreckage. And then this report was later corroborated also by another Turkish journalist. Her name is Cancel Kemitsis, and she tweeted that she has been in contact with the agent of the player, that's Ruben Robero, since the earthquake, and he has told her that Christian Atsu has been pulled out of the wreckage, but is not aware of the state of his health. Also, another Turkish journalist, that Omeros Khan, also tweeted, and I quote, he says that Atsu has not been pulled out of the wreckage yet, and that they're still looking for him. So these were the first conflicting report there. And then the Yagis, who was the one tweeting, or who was on the beat since the early hours of the incident, also came out to confirm that, yes, at that moment where Abola and the Sun were all saying that Atsu had been rescued, his sources were that Atsu is still under the rubble and has not been rescued yet. He spoke to the club's vice president, who also confirmed that yes, at the moment where he was tweeting, Atsu was not rescued. So that led to little conflicting reports as of yesterday evening.
We'll still come on with a lot of details in this. But Nilate, what do you make of this particular news as of when you heard that our own Christian Atsu was involved in this incident and he was...
Well, it was a really sad one. It was a really sad one. In fact, heart-wrenching if you look at how the development unfolded. Getting to know that Christian Atsu, one of our very own Black Stars winger, has been trapped in that particular, disaster. And for hours, he could not be found. And then later in the evening, we got to hear that he's been found alive. Later, we also realized that there were conflicting reports. It wasn't the case. Only for us to come this morning for the journalist who broke the story yesterday to confirm that indeed he's been found. And then, some injuries have also been, ascertained as far as the whole issue is concerned. For me, I was very much enthused about the outpouring of sympathies, especially from the Ghanaian people. Everyone was really touched by this development. It could tell you that, or it tells you that this is one person a lot of Ghanaian love. And if you look at how former president, even the president, former
ministers,
everyone,
every citizen was in support of
there was
pastors.
This form of unison. Everybody was praying, let's pray and get to hear that Atsu has been rescued. And thankfully, this is what we have. And so for me, usually when these things happen, everyone will cast his or her mind back to the few relatable moments. And we were told that on Sunday he played. He played and then even scored in, injury time and all that. Only for us to hear the following day that this is the form of disaster that has befallen. And so for me, I must say that we really are happy as a people, as a Ghanaian people, that in fact we are just hoping, sympathizing that the injuries will be managed. We know that he's responding to treatment. And so we don't know the extent or the degree of the injury on the right foot as we are being made to understand.
Exactly. So, Evans, if I may ask, how did the sporting world take this matter when it broke that Christian Atsu was involved in the earthquake?
So very quickly, we had a message from the Ghana Football Association. They tried to send a message to Ghanaians that they were in contact with officials of Atsu's club, Hataya Spor, and also officials of the Turkish Football Federation. They were trying their possible best to get the latest information, and that they were quite sure that things were going to fall in place. The sports minister also came out to express his heartfelt sympathies to Christian Atsu. We had the sports ministry also coming out to do same. Former Black Stars defender Tony Bafo also wrote same, including Atsu's former clubs, the likes of Chelsea, there's Newcastle United, Malaha, Bournemouth. They were all expressed the sort of sympathy for the player.
There's a bureau that is going on. What can you tell us about this particular video? We understand that was where Christian Atsu was resided before.
Exactly. So this video was shared on social media by one Turkish journalist, Ekrem Kono. He's with Rubble Sport, and he sent the message that this is where Atsu was residing. This is the building where Atsu was in when it collapsed. So this, at the moment, that's the live pictures of the place. Wow. After the incident happened to Christian Atsu at the early hours of 4 a.m. on Monday. So this is where he was rescued from after the earthquake in Turkey.
Now let's come down to the confirmation of the accurate report that now Christian Atsu has been rescued, he's alive and all that. First, Evans, then I come to you, Nilate, as to who exactly, is it the first journalist, the journalist who initially broke it on social media, Yagiz? He's the same person who came later to indicate that, well, Christian Atsu has been rescued. For that, we all have to be calm with whatever the issue is.
Exactly. So just, I think 6:25 a.m., Yagiz tweeted. I think this time around he was very confident in his message on social media after earlier saying that Atsu was still under the rubble. But earlier this morning he tweeted firmly in Turkish with the translation being that Christian Atsu has been pulled from the wreckage alive with an exclamation mark to signify that yes, Atsu is now safe and sound. And I tried to collaborate this also by speaking to Ekrem Corner, a Turkish-based journalist as well, on this, and he confirmed to me that yes, Christian Atsu was found in the parking lot of the residence where he was staying, and that what he knows is that the columns of the building collapsed and damaged him, but it didn't really get much to him. He only received some blows and fractures somewhere on his body, and that from his sources, they understand that the right leg of the player was where the significant damage was made after this incident. At the moment, he's been transferred to the hospital for medical attention. So that's what he reported in my conversation with him at the moment, that the body of Atsu was retrieved and that he received some blows to his body. But the major concern was his right leg, where there was that massive impact. But he couldn't confirm whether the extent of the damage, that's what he said now. And he sent me a message from the manager of the club, Mustafa Uzet, who said that certainly Atsu is currently receiving treatment in the hospital, but they don't know the degree of that foot injury. So that's the major concern now as to how impactful the fall was on his right leg. But they believe that certainly he should be better.
Before, but we are hoping for the better. But it means that the sports director has not been retrieved yet.
At the moment, yes, at the moment, they are still looking for the sporting director, Tana Savut. He's the only last member of the Hataya sport team that cannot be accounted for as we speak now. So, but there's rescue missions ongoing to make sure they get to find him now. But all the players are all
Before we come out with more of the details or with this, Yagiz, the Turkish journalist, spoke on the Citi Breakfast Daily this morning on Citi TV. Let's bring you that insight.
Unfortunately, the situation is so bad in Hatay also. More than one country around to it on Turkey. 8 teams are working, but so many buildings have been destroyed. That sport is insufficient right now. We got the best news of the day from Atsu on this morning. Atsu was pulled alive from the rubble and taken to hospital.
Okay.
From now on, we are waiting good news from Atsu, but he rescued after 26 hours later. Therefore, his condition is so good but critic. He emerged from the rubble, and also, as you know, sporting director Taner Savut was under the rubble. He is neighbor of Christian Atsu, but he is still under the rubble, and search efforts continue. We look forward to it, my friends.
Okay. Do you have any updates from the hospital yet on Atsu?
Connection was so terrible in the Hatay. Sometimes I try to reach Hatay Sport Board to get new information from Christian Atsu, but I didn't because of...
So you had the Yagiz, who is a Turkish journalist. He broke the news about Christian Atsu being beneath the rubble, and also confirmed again that he's been rescued. Evans, before we end with you, can you tell us the life journey of Christian Atsu when he in Turkey? Let's put it that way.
So basically, after having quite a topsy-turvy season in Europe, he joined Porto from Cheetah FC here in Ghana. He had to sign for Chelsea. He went on several loan spells to Malaga, Bournemouth, and Newcastle United. So after several years in Europe, he then had a move to Saudi Arabia to play for Al Raid. And then after just one season there, he moved to his new club in Turkey, Hatay Sport, just last summer. So from that time, he was just involved in his third game just on Sunday evening, where he scored a lovely free kick, a 97th minute free kick for Hatay Sport to win the game over Kasim Pasa in the Turkish league. So it was sort of a moment for Atsu to try and celebrate his first goal for the club just when the earthquake happened to him in that regard there. But clearly in Turkey, he was loved by the fans there. They were just trying to absorb what they are getting from the Black Stars winger, his left foot magic and what he brings on board to the team. So it was his third game for the club, and the fans were just enjoying the goal he has scored. The official Twitter page for Hatay Sport had the image of Atsu controlling the ball and trying to describe how happy they were with the goal he had scored a day before the earthquake happened. So it was all joy before that happened to him in Turkey. But so far, he's new at the club. He's just trying to find his feet. And I'm sure that when he recovers, more of such beautiful football will be seen from Christian Atsu in the Turkish Super League.
Evans Ofushuman, so many thanks for your time, for joining us on this show and giving us insight, filler. Let's put it that way on whatever the issue was at Turkey concerning Christian Atsu, who is a Black Stars winger there. But the good news is he's been rescued. He's alive, and we will keep you updated here on Citi TV. You are still watching CNR Extra on Citi TV.